Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic Awak Priestess here, and I'm making kind of a impromptu video. I wasn't really planning to make a video on this, but one of my lovely subscribers, she has a channel, Raw Spirit. Um, Recommend that you guys check her out. Had commented on the video that I did. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday on Hereditary Witches versus Book Witches. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend that you do. And she asked me, hopefully she doesn't mind that I mention her on this video. But she actually gave me the idea to make this video. She asked me what I thought about the new, I think her name is Colette Baron Reed, I believe. Yeah, Colette Baron Reed. Okay. I think it's the Goddess Power Oracle deck, and what my opinions were on it. In her video, which is very interesting, she also connected a link. I think her name is Angali's. If I'm mispronouncing the name, I apologize. Video, and she gave the link to that. So I watched that video as well right after I watched hers. And Angali was talking about how she wasn't happy about the way that Kali, she's a Hindu spirit, was portrayed in the deck, the deity, and she found it disrespectful how Khalid Baron Reed portrayed that specific deity, and things of that nature. She pretty much changed the traditional imagery in it, and I saw the links that she had put to videos, and I found the commentary on that video very disrespectful. The way that she said that Kali came to her and said that she wanted to be beautiful, something of that nature. I'm not going to talk about the Kali aspect only because even though I'm a person of color, I don't specifically work with Kali, and that's not really part of my culture. And so I watched her video, I commented on it, and I feel really bad that, she was hurt by this deck, but I'm one of those people that I don't like to speak about things that are not directly about me. I rather a voice who's of that culture, of that religious background, kind of speak on the behalf of their feelings. So that would be a good video to watch, and I'm going to try my best to link it to this video on that aspect of the discussion. Raw Spirit did a video as well, and she termed, which I like the term that she used. She used the term light washing. Okay, I think that's the term that she used. If I'm not correct, please raw spirit correct me. But I think she used the word like light washing. Basically, and I also recommend that you watch that video, and I'm gonna link that video. And she just talked about then I'm not putting words in her mouth, but like how everything like how they try to make everything just everything is always light kind of thing. Love light, love light, love light. And she has a very interesting take on that because she respectfully chose not to talk about the cultural misappropriation. She kind of let um, Angali's video speak on that because she was talking about Kali. And so I know in the deck, I don't have this deck, I'm going to be honest. I have kind of gotten into, I think everybody spiritual journey is their own, and we all evolve differently, and different things resonate with us and things of that nature. So when I first started on this path, I had nothing but a deck of playing cards. Like I had said on a lot of my videos, if you're new to watching my videos, then maybe you don't know this. I'm going to take these earphones off because I didn't even realize I had them on. I was kind of listening to a live stream before I made this video, so I apologize for that. So hopefully I didn't come out too loud in the beginning of this video. Um, so oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought, and I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm gonna make a natural video. Um, so she kind of talked about that aspect of it, which was very interesting too. But I have to be honest. Like I said, I started with one deck of playing cards. And I was raised like not using tools. Again, that's my path, and that's the way I grew up. I grew up in a hereditary path, and that's the way my elders did things. I also saw a lot of people using like caracoles, shells and things of that, the legume and the patakis, and more of the ATR's African traditional religion way of forecasting. Cartomancies, they do that a lot in Haiti, so that's where I have that connection with that. It has a lot to do with my Badama. My Badama is more of African and Haitian. So she likes for me to use that. But anyway, so with that being said, my experience is a little different. I started incorporating tarot and things like that about 5 years ago. I would say 6 years ago, when I started to read professionally, because I was told by the site that I work for, which I no longer work for, over a year ago. I was thinking of going back, but after my last incident with them, I decided to just stay away from them because they could be kind of rude. Yes, I'm drinking Dunkin' Donuts, not trying to advertise anything here. I was running errands this morning and I had to have my morning coffee yet. So, um, tarot was something that people were more interested in. So what I did was I studied tarot for like a year before I actually professionally read anybody on it, and kind of transitioned to from cartomancy to tarot. But cartomancy, like I said, I've pretty much gone back to it. I had like this whole awakening with it. And I still read with tarot. So sometimes I have a tarot when I'm reading professionally, or cartomancy. Oracle decks, when I first started outdooring virtue, because I was afraid of getting into tarot because of the devil card. So I used her angel tarot and then evolved to the actual traditional Rider-Waite and more Rider-Waite type decks. But anyways, so why I'm saying all this is because I haven't bought a deck. I looked back at my channel. I was like, I feel like it's been a while since I bought an actual like oracle deck or tarot deck. The last tarot deck that I bought was 6 months ago, and the last oracle deck that I bought was 7 months ago, and that was I think it was like a warrior deck, something like that, Earth Warrior. I don't remember the actual name of it, but um so I have gone into a path where I'm kind of going back to basics, where I don't really use tools. I never really relied on them too much for divination. I don't knock anybody else who does. I'm more of like clairvoyant, so I don't really need tools. So I've been trying to budget things more. So like candles and oils and things like that. Like I make my own oils, but like I buy a lot of candles and those kinds of things and herbs and things like that. But I use all of them because that has more to do with my practice. Because I do spell casting for myself, for clients and rituals and things like that. So it's kind of like in my job description. So I buy things that I need. And at this time right now, I don't really need to add to my crystal collection or my tarot collection or my oracle. If anything, I've been kind of packing some away and getting ready to like give them away. I might do a giveaway. I don't know yet, of like gonna go through decks that I don't use anymore, that I gently use, because some of them are not, a lot of them aren't actually. And so the ones that aren't, I'm just gonna pretty much recycle those or something. But the ones that I can actually use and that somebody could use that I didn't really use that much, I'm gonna probably give those away in a giveaway or something like that. Because I'm getting closer to 900 subscribers, so I might do something along those lines. And I'm still looking to get rid of the Sabbath books. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying. So I haven't really been following anything with Khaled Baron Reed, because the last deck that I bought of hers, I have like three of them. They're pretty old. Like I have the one with the map, and I have another one with like a red cover, and then I have another one that's kind of like medieval, like or like Arthur and the King of Knights type one that has like Fae, and they're like all different cultural backgrounds. So those are the only three I have. I have like three of her decks. And I didn't like the Good Tarot at all. I did not resonate with it. I saw walkthroughs of it, and I just didn't like the language that she used in the guidebook. So basically, I've never been a devout follower of Doing Virtue. Like I bought her oracle decks, but I always like separate the person from the actual tools. And I don't follow Khaled Baron Reed. at all. I don't know anything about her personal life. Just like I love Dreams of Gaia, but I don't know anything about the person who made the deck. Like I pretty much separate that. And the reason why is because when I started in this path and I started reading professionally, I used to follow people. Like they were psychics that became my friends. And even though my intuition was saying, don't friend these people, I friended these people anyways, and they took advantage of me. And it's why I don't even do free readings for friends anymore, because people were just using me for readings. Psychics were using me for readings. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get free stuff out of me and only friending me because they needed something. And I knew better than that. So I pretty much have learned with that. And when I was a fundamentalist Christian, not to follow gurus or spiritual leaders too much. I even tell my clients, like, I'm just a person like everybody else. And there's nothing wrong with admiring somebody or like, wow, I would like to learn from this person or something like that. But at the end of the day, we have to understand these are just human beings. And at the end of the day, like yes, I charge for my services, but I actually care about the people that I work with. I actually care about my clients. It's just that in real life, the other day I had to get a dental oral surgery in my mouth. I can't tell that dentist, hey, I'm not going to pay you. Like I had to pay him out of pocket. I had to pay him cash for his services because I don't have dental insurance. You know what I mean? And Pennsylvania pretty much sucks on insurance. So I can't just tell him I'm going to do something for free. So I can't, people can't expect me to work for free. And of course, if you make a deck like she does or she does services, I would expect her to charge for her stuff. However, there is a danger sometimes from these spiritual people that it starts to become a business. And I genuinely feel after I watched a walkthrough of this deck that she was just trying to make money. I don't feel that she cared about the cultures that she was incorporating in the deck. That's just my personal opinion. Because she didn't bother to do the research. And that's why I've made videos, and I'm going to link those that talk more in detail. I respect culture appreciation, which is different than cultural appropriation. And I have made numerous videos on that already. I'm going to link those two there so you can actually see my opinion on that. I don't like it. Like that's the reason why I don't do spells on my channel. Why? Because I'm a hereditary witch, and a lot of stuff that I learned, I did not get it from a book. Not that I'm knocking anybody else, but these are things my mother passed to me and her elders, and so on and so forth. So, because I don't like people appropriating my spells or appropriating rituals that I do. I like to keep my santeria, my voodoo practices to my like exclusively to me or my hoodoo. There's things that I don't want to share. I took the time to get initiated. I took the time to study a lot of these paths and so on and so forth. I've made monetary, emotional, spiritual investment in these things. So I'm not comfortable sharing it with other people. What I'm comfortable sharing, you will see on my channel. What I'm not, I keep to myself. That's why I don't show my spirit room because one, the spirits don't want me to, and I don't want people to know too much about exactly what spirits I work with because then unfortunately you have people that actually watch YouTube videos that are con artists on YouTube, and they literally make channels to like take people's money, and they'll take bits and bobs of stuff and charge you money, but they actually don't even know what they're doing because some people look at the spiritual community as a money making business. I've had clients that have lost life savings on spells that the person never even did. Because I'll do a reading, I'm like, the person that you paid to do a spell never even lit a candle for you. Like they literally just took your money and left. And you have a lot of that. And people that make cards and stuff, just because they say they're spiritual doesn't mean they're spiritual. I'm not saying she's like that. I'm not saying she's not. I don't know her personally, but I just, to me, she kind of made that deck to make money, and she wasn't caring about the cultures. And that's why I have a problem when people are like, when the anybody who makes a goddess deck, I don't buy them. I'm not into goddess decks, not because I respect people that work with gods and goddesses. That's not why I'm saying that. Because I'm one of those people, I'm for inclusion of everything. The only reason I say that because I personally don't work with God and goddesses. We believe in one main deity in the path in the house that I serve, in the ATRs that I serve, but we believe in one main God, neither male nor female. And then we believe in extensions of God. And I noticed that a lot of people are starting to incorporate other practices into their practice. So you'll hear people say God and goddesses when they're talking about Oshun, or they're talking about this or that or the other. She's not a goddess. When you go to the islands where a lot of these religions were made, okay, Santeria was made in the islands. Okay, yes, after a while when people started migrating here, it's expanded to the United States, and I've done several videos on that too. You can look at my channel for those things. But hoodoo was what was made in America, and then you had Louisiana voodoo and like Southern magic, okay, which was more hoodoo and voodoo incorporated with each other, but it's not like Haitian voodoo. That is a separate, different entity. So is Santeria. So is Candomblé. Like these are all different things. Okay, they may have more or less the same deities in some of the past, but there are a specific religion that's practiced a specific way, which it would take too long for me to get into all of that. I've made videos on that if you guys are interested in watching that. But um why I'm saying that is, if she had bothered to do her research, she would have known that Oshun in the walkthrough that I watched looked old. And everybody knows that Oshun is young. Oshun is a young woman. She's not old. And that lady in the picture looked old. Um, I'm not into that whole, like, if you're making a goddess deck, take a bunch of stuff from different cultures. Unless you're somebody who actually practices that, then I'm okay with it. I really don't like when they call them god and goddesses, because again, that is more of a pagan or like a Wiccan or like Eurocentric practice, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know the Druids, from what I've researched, serve god and goddesses, Alexandria witchcraft and things like that, and that's perfectly fine. But people that grew up in Santeria, people that grew up in voodoo, they don't use the terms god and goddesses. They're just loas and orishas. That's it. And there's one main, supreme being that kind of oversees them, because these spirits help us in our everyday life. Because God, him or herself, is too busy to deal with the mundane stuff. So I noticed that a lot of people don't bother to like get mentored or do the research and just start. If one person says God and Goddess on the video, all of a sudden a million people are saying that. And that in itself bothers me, because again, you don't have to fit your culture to fit in the main culture. That's the biggest problem that I have with this deck and several god and goddesses decks. I really don't like to see African spirits, but people are going to do whatever they want in a god and goddess deck. I feel like that's separate. If somebody actually wants to work with that, then maybe somebody who's either initiated in the culture or grew up in the culture, they can make a specific deck that's just with that thing. Because that's when we get into mishmashing and one size fit all. And I feel like that's in it. Like once she did that, that went into culture appropriation, in my opinion. And that bothers me because these spirits come from a specific religion. And anybody who serves them knows that that's not the way. You don't use like those specific tools to channel them anyways. Even these statues you see on YouTube of like this beautiful Oshun statue or whatever, or a saint statue, someone who's initiated knows that's not how they really look. There are certain tools when you're initiated into the tradition, when you receive the spirits, you get the actual real tools of who they are, and they don't look anything like that. Like the statue is not the spirit, but that's like, we're not even gonna get to all that. But so I already had a problem once she incorporated that. I didn't like Doreen Virtue's goddess deck. I think she had like Yemaya, which the name was misspelled, and it's just, it bothers me because I feel like they've tried to incorporate it even like religions like Wicca and New Age stuff, and that all bothers me because they come from an original religion, and I feel like if somebody wants to make a deck that's specifically about Santeria or specifically about voodoo, then that's fine to put them in there. But to put them in a deck with a whole bunch of different stuff, that bothers me. I'm part Native American, so the whole calf woman thing bothered me. Um, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact that she is not someone who has been accepted to any Native American tribe, so therefore she didn't study under anybody and that kind of stuff. And a lot of that stuff is misinformation that gets spread around everywhere. So I pretty much have learned to expect this already. A lot of people do that stuff. That's why when people talk about inclusion, that's something I don't really get too much into. I'm not really into like making decks and then incorporating a whole bunch of deities from different things and kind of putting it all together. I don't like that. So that's why, that's just me. I don't really like when people mix different cultures in one practice, but people are gonna do whatever they want. And that's why I really don't make videos about that anymore because I don't want to offend people. But personally, for me, I don't like the deck. That's why I feel like the way that I show that I don't like the deck, I just won't buy it. And people are free to do what they want to do. Um, I pretty much have just let a lot of that stuff go. I'm used to on a daily basis being bombarded with so many disrespectful portrayals of the Orishas. Even within my own community, unfortunately, you'll have people, I don't need to study and blah 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 blah. It's my right or whatever, and then they're spreading misinformation out there. Yes, it could be in your lineage, but you should still, if you didn't grow up in that culture, you should still try to seek out some type of a mentor or something like that to get the right information. And that's why I made that video about books. A lot of books are not accurate. Maybe 60% of the stuff is good and 40% of the stuff isn't. So when you have prior knowledge, you can kind of decipher the BS from the good stuff. So that's pretty much how I feel about that. I don't like the deck. I don't like the artwork. I pretty much don't like goddess decks that include things from other cultures when those things aren't really god and goddesses. I think if they're gonna make a god and goddess deck, that they should actually pertain it to the religion where it comes from. So it should just be like if so in other words, if you're gonna make a Wiccan deck, make it about Wiccan deities. If you're gonna make a deck about god and goddesses, which is usually more of a European idea, then they should have European things in it. My favorite decks, like the Right Away, has white people in it. That doesn't bother me. The Druidcraft tarot, I love it because it has European people, but druids were European at the time. So that stuff doesn't bother me because if I buy a Santeria deck, I'm gonna expect to see brown people in it. If you're making like a modern day tarot, I've seen sometimes they put multiple cultures in there. I think that's pretty cool. But when it comes to like a spiritual theme, like I'm not gonna buy a deck that's about Hinduism and then expect to see like black people in it. You know what I mean? Or European people in it. I'm expecting to see Hindu spirits in it because it's a Hindu deck. So if it's gonna be a god and goddess deck, then I'm expecting that to be more of a Wiccan or traditional witchcraft, whatever religion follows the path of god and goddesses type of people. So that wouldn't have bothered me if it was all European based, to be honest. Only because those are god and goddesses. Like that doesn't bother me. It bothers me more when everybody, and I've seen this in all across the board, tries to take their path and assimilate it to what's popular because I feel like be true to yourself. You don't have to follow what everybody else does. I'm not going to call something a god and goddess that isn't a god and goddess because Orisha is a Orisha, Aloha is Aloha, and that's what they are. I mean, it is what it is. Saints are saints. They're not god and goddesses. You know what I mean? Mary being on there, that will make no sense to me because she's not a goddess. She's actually a Catholic deity, so let her be a Catholic deity. You know what I mean? So I think that's more annoying to me, to be honest, to try to do a one size fit all to everybody. Everybody practices different. Every culture does their own thing. Every culture has a history. So we don't have to infuse everything into each other. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to do that. So I think we worry so much nowadays of being politically correct that we just like infuse a lot of stuff. And by her doing that, she offended people anyways. You know what I mean? So just don't take people's spiritual paths and try to make money off of it. If you are not of that tradition, so I doubt that she has ever done Santeria or any type of African traditional religion, and I doubt that she has been trained in Hinduism. Then, and if you're not part of a Native American tribe, then don't put that in the deck. I'm sorry, like just don't do it. Let somebody who's Native American, if they want to share their stuff, make a deck and make money out of it, great. If there's a santero or somebody in the African traditional religion that wants to make a deck, then that's cool. And so on. And someone's Haitian and they say, hey, I want to make a tarot deck that's about Haitian voodoo. Cool. Like then you could buy that because it's actually going to be a reliable source. I feel like, and maybe I'll get in trouble for this, but as a people of color, I would love to see more of us make decks for our own traditions. I've actually been thinking about doing that myself, to be honest. Making a deck that of my tradition and sharing that with the world with actual reliable information. So I feel like, um, let's stop trying to let other people take our stuff, and let's start empowering ourselves to take back our magic, our witchcraft, our traditions, and our path. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next video. And that's about it. And hopefully I won't have 10,000 people unsubscribe from it. I don't even have 10,000 people. Hopefully it doesn't offend anybody, but this is what my opinion is. I just feel like I'm not surprised by her doing that. People have been doing that to us for hundreds of years. I don't follow any gurus. I've learned a long time ago that a lot of people are just in it for the money. I'm not saying don't charge money for your stuff, but there are people that genuinely don't care about the people they work for. They just want to make money. So they just pretty much slinging cards and trying to make money. I'm not saying that's how she is, but like I said, I stopped resonating with her when she made the good tarot. And I really don't know much about the people I buy decks from. I just pretty much, if I like a deck, I buy it. But again, I haven't bought a deck in a long time. That's pretty much doesn't resonate with me at this time. I'm pretty much getting a hiatus on that. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but it's just something that doesn't call to me. So I don't follow any new decks that are coming out. Like I didn't even know about this one until Raw Spirit told me about it, and then I went and looked on it. But I pretty much I'm not really buying decks right now. So um, yeah, so much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to work with me on a one-on-one basis, shamanic@workpieces.com. The link is below. Please only contact me if you have a serious inquiry about a reading or something of that nature. Okay. All right, guys. Bye.